Hi everyone, welcome to the Data Analysis Skill Series with Jamovi. In this session, we will learn bivariate correlation. So we'll learn this session under the following headings. First, we'll learn the basic concepts of bivariate correlation. Then what are the research questions for which we need bivariate correlation? The underlying assumptions and hypothesis for it. Then what are the commands, and after that output, how to interpret those commands and enter that result in a tabular format. And then at the last, we'll see the overall summary of the command. Correlation is predominantly used to determine the strength and direction of a linear relationship between the two continuous variables. We measure association by correlation coefficient, which is also known as Pearson product moment correlation coefficient, and it is denoted by small r. There are few properties of this correlation coefficient. Let's see those properties. So the value or this correlation coefficient r, it measures the strength of a linear relationship, and we'll see how to measure the linearity between the two variables. There is a sign associated with this correlation coefficient, and this sign tells us regarding the direction of relationship. It can be a positive sign or it can be a negative sign. If there is a positive sign, it says that if the value of one variable is increasing, the other variable is also increasing. And if the sign is negative, that says that with increase in one variable, there is a decrease in the other variable. The value or the magnitude of this correlation coefficient, it conveys the strength of this association or relationship, and it can vary. So we'll see that the strength of association could be a moderate association or a very strong association depending on the value of this correlation coefficient. And this value ranges from -1 to +1. But we have to be very cautious that this correlation doesn't imply causation. To label a variable as a causal factor of the another variable, we need to fulfill the criteria of causality, which will be covered in a separate session. So the value, maybe even if the strength is very strong, it doesn't imply that this is a causal in nature. So while interpreting the correlation coefficient, we have to be careful regarding the causality, that it never implies causal association. Depending on the value of correlation coefficient, we can classify the strength of association as small, moderate or strong. So if the value of coefficient is between 0.1 to 0.3, we call it as a small correlation. If it is between 0.3 to 0.5, it is of moderate correlation. And if this coefficient value is more than 0.5, we label it as a strong correlation. Let's see the underlying research questions. To answer these research questions, we need correlation as a test of choice. If you want to know whether there is any relationship between serum vitamin D level and serum calcium level, if we want to know whether there is any relationship between the sleep duration and the percentage of marks obtained in the final examination of MBBS students, or if we want to know whether the female literacy rate and infant mortality rate is related or not. So, to answer these research questions, we need bivariate correlation as a test of choice. So, after undergoing all these research questions, what have you observed? So you have seen that, so you want to know whether the measurement of one continuous variable is related with the measurement of another continuous variable. So according to you, what would be the appropriate statistical test to study the association between these two continuous variables? So you are right, it is the bivariate correlation, also known as the Pearson correlation. So many times it is needed that you have to make categories out of these continuous variable to study the association between these two variables. So if you are making a categories, like in this case, if you are making a category of vitamin D level and the category if it is like less than 10 nanogram per deciliter and more than 10 nanogram per deciliter. Similarly, the serum calcium level, if you see this, less than 5 milligram per deciliter and more than 5 milligram per deciliter. The second research question was to study the association between the sleep duration and the percentage of marks obtained. But if you are again categorizing this, sleep duration less than 6 hours and more than equal to 6 hours. Similarly, the percentage of marks obtained less than 50% and more than equal to 50%. And the female literacy also, if you are categorizing into low and high, and infant mortality rate also as a low or high, then you have to be very cautious that we cannot study this correlation, because correlation is strictly for two continuous variable, and if we are categorizing, then the bivariate correlation is no more applicable here. Let's study the underlying assumptions for correlation. If we fulfill these assumptions, then we can apply this correlation. So the first assumption is there should be two continuous variable and it should be a paired value. What do we mean by paired value? Like if we want to see the association between the obesity and cholesterol, then the BMI and the cholesterol value should be of the same person. So this we call it as a paired value. The second assumption is like there should be linear association or linear relationship between the two variable, and that we test plotting a scatter plot, and we'll see how to do a scatter plot. The next assumption is like there should not be any significant number of outliers, because this correlation is very sensitive towards outlier, and we need to satisfy the assumption of normality. So let's understand the linear versus non-linear relationship. In this graph, you can see that if the scatter plot is something like this or like this, where you can imagine a straight line across those lines or the dots, then it is a linear relationship. Whereas if the graph is something like this or like this, hyperbola or in a curve fashion, then this is a non-linear relationship. In bivariate correlation, we need to understand the concept of coefficient of determination. So suppose we want to find out the correlation coefficient for our research question like serum vitamin D and serum calcium level, correlation between the sleep duration and marks percentage, and state literacy and infant mortality rate. And if the correlations are like respectively 0.552, 0.7 and 0.8, so these values tells us the strength and direction of linear relationship between the two variable. We have discussed it that if there is a negative sign, then it is a negative correlation, and if there is a positive sign, it is a positive correlation. But if I want to know how much variance in one variable can be explained by another variable, so the variation in serum vitamin D level from one person to another person can be explained by the serum calcium level by what percentage? Similarly, the variation in the percentage of marks obtained from one student to another student can be explained by sleep duration by what percentage? Or the variation in infant mortality rate from one state to another state can be explained by literacy rate by what percentage? So if we wish to determine this variation in one variable with respect to another variable, for this we want to know the coefficient of determination. It is calculated by R square, where R is the correlation coefficient. So you have to square these R, and this R square will be 0.304, this R square will be 0.492, and this R square will be 0.641. So we can interpret, you have to multiply this by 100. So we can explain this that the 30.4% of variation in serum vitamin D level can be explained by the changes in the serum calcium level. Similarly, 49.2% of the variation in marks percentage can be explained by the variation in sleep duration. So similarly, we can interpret the state literacy and infant mortality rate too. So now the null hypothesis for this bivariate correlation is that the population correlation coefficient is equal to 0, whereas The alternate hypothesis is that the population correlation coefficient is not equal to 0. Let's learn the bivariate correlation in Jamovi. So I have to do the correlation, or I have to study the correlation between the cholesterol and BMI. So let's see. So this is the Jamovi. Open the data in Jamovi. Click this open. So the data is now opened. Again you have to go to the variable and change the variable. So in my case I have to change this variable. Age is an integer, then gender, again this is not for use in my case, but still I'll change this. Race, it's a nominal with integer. Then BMI, it's continuous and it will be in decimal. Heart rate, continuous but integer. Then again SBP, continuous and integer. Then DBP, continuous and integer. Cholesterol in decimal. Vitamin D in decimal. Anxiety, it is in the form of a score, so it will be as an integer. So that's it. So then go to the data. So the question which has been given to me, it is to check the correlation between the cholesterol and BMI. So we will test the underlying assumption. The first assumption was that both the variables should be continuous in nature, and both the cholesterol and BMI, it is in continuous in nature, so we can apply correlation. The second assumption was to check for the outlier. So to checking the outlier, you have to go to this analysis, explore, click descriptive. In descriptive, in statistics, uncheck all this because we don't need mean, median and mode now. So uncheck all these things, and then there is the option of box plot. So you need to check the outlier of BMI and cholesterol. So enter these variable in this variable box, come down and then click on this plot and check this box plot. So if you see the result, you will see there are 6 outliers, 6 or 7, you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 approximately in BMI, and there is none in cholesterol. So then it is your decision whether you want to keep these outlier in your analysis or you want to remove them. So it's better, whatever you do, it's better to report that. So in this case I have decided to keep the outlier in my analysis. Then you go again to this regression. In this regression, if you see this, there are 3 options: correlation matrix, partial and linear regression. For bivariate correlation, this is the choice, this correlation matrix. So click this correlation matrix. In correlation matrix, if you can recall, before we apply correlation, we need to check about the linearity of the 2 variables. So the 2 variables in my case, it is the BMI and cholesterol. So before we apply this Pearson, already it is checked, but we need to check the plot. So if you click on this correlation matrix plot, then you can see there is a plot here. So you can see that there is a linear line across it. That means it is linearly associated, both the variables. So now we can interpret this correlation matrix. So if you see this, if you click this flag significant correlations, then you have to click this. In that case, you can see that it is the significant, it will show you the significance level. So the value of correlation coefficient between the BMI and cholesterol is 0.693 and it is highly significant. So if you see this option of correlation coefficient, since in this case it is linearly related, so that's why, and again the normality also. So you can check for the normality also after this, and to check for the normality again you have to go to the descriptive, click on descriptive, and you can click on this histogram, or you can click on the QQ plot also. So if you just click on this QQ plot, uncheck all this, because again this value will come in the analysis which we don't want. So QQ plot, you want QQ plot of BMI and cholesterol. So you can see that both the BMI and cholesterol, it is approximate, all the individual data point, it is located along this diagonal line. That means it is normally distributed. So we have checked for the assumption, we have checked for the linear association between the two variable, we have checked for the QQ plot for normality, and we have checked for the outlier. Now go to the regression. We have and in this correlation matrix, if you click on this correlation matrix, so my question was BMI and cholesterol, so that we have seen it is significant. So now how to interpret this? So you have to enter this value of 0.693 and this R square. We talked about the R square also, but Jamovi doesn't give you the R square, so you have to make the square of this 0.69. So if you square it, it will approximately, you can take it as 0.7, it will be 0.49. So approximately the R square will be 49%. So similarly, if you see this, this is the interpretation. I have entered this 0.693 and the p-value, and the coefficient of determination is 0.488. So a Pearson product moment correlation was run to assess the relationship between the cholesterol concentration and BMI. Preliminary analysis showed that the relationship to be linear with the both variables and normally distributed as shown by the QQ plot. There were 6 outliers in the distribution of body mass index as seen by the visual inspection of the box plot, and there was none in the cholesterol category, and there was a statistically significant strong positive correlation between BMI and cholesterol concentration. And we know now the mild, moderate and very strong positive correlation. So more than 0.5 suggests that it is a very strong positive correlation. And this R square, you have to explain that this 49% of the variance in the cholesterol concentration is dependent on the changes in the BMI. So that's how we write the interpretation between the two continuous variable depending on the value of R and value of R square. So if you have to apply multiple correlation, like in this case you can see I have to measure the correlation between the age, cholesterol, BMI, anxiety, self-related score and vitamin D. In that case, what will you do? So you again go to the Jamovi. There are the other variables too. So you can enter, maybe there was age also, so you enter age, vitamin D, and then anxiety also. So all these are continuous variable, remember. So in that case, you can see the value of R. So you can see the value of R between BMI, cholesterol, age and BMI, vitamin D and this cholesterol and BMI. So this table you can see here, and the p-value, if you see, it is significant. So more you will have in first row, you will have the value of Pearson's R, and in the second row you will have the value of p-value. So you can see all these are significant because every value is less than 0.05. So there is a correlation between all these variable, and that's how you enter the result here, that this is the matrix which you plot and you enter the result. So in this case the p-value has been given in the bracket and this is the value of correlation coefficient. So similarly you can write the interpretation of a variable which are more than 2. So you can now, but in this case also you have to check for linear association between each and every variable, and then you have to check individually the outlier also for every variable, like we have seen with the 2 variables. So this is how you interpret the result and you put the command in the Jamovi.